Okay, I think they're ready for you. Yes.
Private communication, Josh.
Okay.
Some years ago, when I inspired composition rhetoric, two of the main reasons I gave. One, I was using general semantics, private interests, and forcing it on my students. And secondly, I was using that book by that Hayakawa fellow, which was not relevant to composition and rhetoric, they said. One reason they gave was it was too old. But just grist for your mill, young fellow.
Thank you. I think it was Zanyat and Evgeny that wrote a long time ago. It's not the traditionalists that move humanity forward. It's always the hermits, the heretics, and the dissenters. So, or something to that effect. I'm versely paraphrasing, but anyway, thank you.
Anybody else? I can't see you people. Yes, I see you. Yes, you there, looking behind yourself.
My question is for Igor. Your paper is cooperative communicative behavior. And my question is, well, you go from cognition to discourse, but in the meanwhile, what emotions do a human being has to have in order to communicate? And emotions, I don't mean like capacities or values, but you've mentioned that we have to share emotions in order to be like in the same axis.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Yes, our research observes the national cooperative communicative behavior and in analyze we our way was from cognition to discourse, not from discourse to cognition, because the data of our research was experiments, psycholinguistic and social linguistic experiments with representatives of Ukrainian, Lithuanian, and American linguistic cultures. Yeah, and really, I agree with you, but emotional. Your question about emotional level, yeah, of behavior. This emotion in our research we observes and on the discursive level of behavior. Thank you.
Terry.
Igor, in your model of invariant and variant, there's two levels. You have cooperation in both. So I was wondering, what was the conception of cooperation in both of those lenses, which I'm really impressed with.
Thank you for the question. Really, in parametric model of national cooperative communicative behavior, we define two invariant and variant zone strata. And in these strata, these stratas consists of different zones, static and dynamic.
So it's cultural and interactive.
Yeah.
How I would interpret it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is maybe a question for Jim Philippe. So in your wonderful talk and in that sort of diagram of things being delivered and things being taken away, I wonder also if the role of the individuals, like delivering, also, like the people, I feel, have become disposable by way of like gig economy, just in time sort of hiring, and these sort of things. And I wonder if, I mean, is it too simple to the answer to those 4 questions you asked at the end, just to say capitalism, capitalism, capitalism?
Well, I'm not providing the answers, but yeah. Pretty much, yes. In the case of Amazon in particular, I mean, workers are basically accessories or tools to a much larger system than them. So yeah, you're totally right about this. And this perhaps brings me back to the question of emotion and what distinguishes us from AI and those systems that have been set up for supposedly our own good, but I mean, I think we know whose goods is actually being promoted. Good and goods, yeah.
Oh,
I see so many hands, but Sandy is like, oh, Lance.
Well, for Josh, I noticed your comment about the sophists and lawyers, and as I mentioned to you, I think there's a connection between the philosopher's attack on the sophists, and then you get to the New Testament, and what a lot of people raised in the Christian tradition don't realize is that there is this severe attack, that's not only the source of a lot of anti-Semitism, but particularly against the Pharisees. And they, people don't understand who the Pharisees were. They were one of 2 parties, and the Pharisees were the basis of rabbinic Judaism and argued that the law should be interpreted, that the Bible needs to be interpreted, and they also argued for oral tradition as part of that, as opposed to the Sadducees, who were the opposing party, who were the priests, and argued for strict literal interpretation of the law. So, I mean, actually, what Jesus represents is a kind of radical Pharisee position. But anyway, it just seemed to me that you're connecting the sophists to lawyers, fits in very well with that connection. And the other comment is you didn't mention Kenneth Burke, and of course his argument is that general semantics is scientism as compared to his beloved dramatism.
And his symbol using that. I got a 30-page paper. I had to condense it down. So
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
I know we're at time here, so why don't I take one more, and then we have a few minutes in between this and the next session for you to rush the speakers and
We're
ask
also
them.
like French fries up here with this slide.
That's true. Rather than that, why don't we come down to you? And we've got 15 minutes between now and the final session at 12. So thank you to all our speakers.